Her talk is on unlocking female entrepreneurial leaders, the crucial role of adaptability in the next decade.
Thank you. I'm a little bit worried about my voice because we had a family dinner because I have relatives here in Toronto. And, you know, they just keep on drinking wine and talking and discussing. So I felt, oh my God, you know, I'm dropping my voice here in downtown in Toronto here. I'm extremely happy to be here to talk about female, women, new decades, and what's going on in the world. I'm just wondering, how many of you out there have a picture of yourself when you were a child? What were you thinking about yourself as a child? What did you dream of being? What did you dream of being?
Not working.
Yeah. Mother Teresa, I heard here. Something more.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Stay-at-home doctor.
Nurse.
A gymnast. Olympic gymnast.
Olympic gymnast.
A singer.
Singer.
Secret agent.
I love that. How many of you then happen to have people in your surroundings that killed your dream?
Oh, every day.
That told you that you're a girl, you can't be that. You see, when I was a little girl, I was two things, you know, when I watched all these movies, you know, Robin Hood things, I was never Marion. I was Robin Hood. Yeah. And I was dreaming of being a fireman, you know, saving houses, burning, you know, this kind of more exercising, hard-working stuff. And then people said to me, my surrounded, you know, you're a girl, you can't be that. Wow. So I punished them. So what? Not my parents. I'm very happy with that. So I said, I'm going to study technology when I go to school, which I did. So I've always been that little girl that did everything opposite to the rest. So this is what I'm really dreaming of, to be here and share with you, all of you, that we can become what we want to be. It's all up in our mindset. So I'm going to talk about mindset a lot today, and that we need to adapt. But what is adaptability? So unlocking female entrepreneur leaders. In female, we have men who have a female leadership style. Do you see that? So it doesn't have to be connected to gender. And this is the big mistake many coaches do, actually, I think. Female leadership has nothing to do with the gender. It's a style. It's a coaching leadership style. So next slide, can just start here. I'm going to do something. As you hear here, I'm from Europe. I'm from Sweden. So being here in America on stage with you guys, if that had been 10 years ago, I would have been deadly nervous. Today I enjoy it because you guys are more trying to be on stage than we are in Sweden. We are shy. Little me, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't talk too loud, you know. Yeah, that's a Swedish sort of imposter syndrome that we have. So this is my American slide where I can show my awards. I wouldn't do that in Europe either, because then they look at it and say, where you got that from? Did you really deserve it? We're talking about innovation, and that is why America has more innovations in many ways. Because innovation, mindset, entrepreneurship, you have to take risks, but you have to believe, and you must do a show off time to time. You can't hide yourself. And we do that in Europe. And not only that, if you're going to be a female leader, you have to stand out from a sister group. You can't belong to the group. You have to be in the front as well. So you can take the next one. So now I showed it. If you now talk about leadership, you're going to build a company. You're going to lead a team. And the future will be very different from the past. Leading will be much more facilitating people. And me, being a doctor, chemistry, molecular biology, assistant professor, I like to be the expert. I like to have the answers of everything. I'm trying to think like that in school when I was a professor at the university. But today, no way. It's happening too many things. So we can't take in all these students, and we can't hire people and think, I know everything myself. We're going to facilitate instead. So you should never doubt, if you have a team, that it's commonly in big companies, It is a small group of people that innovate. AstraZeneca in Sweden, huge corporate company. Lucid was the biggest innovation. It was a group of 10 people, and it became $1 billion business. 10 people in a very tight team that innovated, and they didn't follow order. They were disobedient. So how many companies today allow that? In the corporate, I'm not sure. And that's what they're fighting for. So next slide. What we're going to face in the future, particularly in bigger companies, but also in small entrepreneurial companies, and they will not survive, that is that in teams working together and in the company, people will have different abilities, characters, and depending on how the team is constructed and built, some team will fight hard. Because they feel, I can't really follow up. What's going on? Things are happening so fast. I talked with my relatives yesterday. They have 2 sons. And now this guy, the young man, he's 20 years old. And he's talking about AI and data science. I'm like, wow. And I understand half of it. He's way off. And he's seeking my guidance. And I think, how can I guide this guy? I don't understand. I don't understand his language. But he doesn't need that support. That, people feel if they can follow or not. So if you go, and I go, and I talk with these corporates here, they say, too many people here, they're trying to protect themselves because they feel they can't keep up. Some team will be extremely efficient, some team will not be. Some people will have it easier to just adopt and accept and say, I have no clue what you talk about, actually, it's funny. How can I help you with something else? Because I can't compete with Python language with that young man, I just can't do that. But it doesn't mean he doesn't need my help. So I have to step out of my comfort zone. But this here in companies will cause what we see, mental health issues in companies. I face that every day. People come in to me, I need a coach, I don't feel very well, my job is not good, I need to change my job, I don't know what to do. Can I continue to work as a data scientist? What can I do? That is what we see here. It causes frictions inside the companies because people get afraid. People get afraid. They don't want to lose the face. Mm. Yep. How many of you have relatives having a hard time to follow up with technology?
Yeah.
Mm. Think about being a man and you have been independent for your whole life, you have been a daddy, and suddenly you're 75 and you just can't follow up any longer. You can't even go to the bank. That's my dad's reality. It's not easy to be a daughter, I tell you. I can help you. I have managed my life, and my whole life I was independent. Yeah, Daddy, time's gone. That happens inside companies as well. It happens inside companies as well. They're sitting protecting. Those companies will not survive. So, next slide. You can't change your business if you don't change the people. But this is what they do. They change the business. We need a new strategy. We just need a secret tool. The magic box. Some extra tools here. Yeah, wow, I say. What are you going to do with the people? What are you going to do with the people? Are you going to change the people? Are you going to work with the people? They forget that. They're so technology focused and solution when it comes to changing everything, strategies, money, everything, so they forget the people. This is our job. But it's very difficult to sell. I'm going to fix your people in your company. What? Yeah. Next slide. Here you have it. LinkedIn, I got the facts. What are companies looking for? They at least say they are looking for. Adaptability is #1 ranked in the world today, together with resilience. And we need resilience. That we heard here, where you talked about a lot, is actually resilience. To accept that I today, with my business or in my leadership role, I actually have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to live with that. And we discussed it, Terry. Sometimes we just have to accept that, and I say, okay, I don't know what's going to happen with my business the next year. But anyway, if I walk this road with my eyes open, I will be able to see around corners. And that is the mindset I need to train myself. Otherwise, I will walk that road and I will miss all the opportunities because I don't look around the corners. And that is also a mindset. So I sometimes say to my clients, hey, you have to work less hard. Stop working so hard. Just be. And trust that if you take one step every day, it's going to work out. And I always take, the Chinese wall. Remember that one? Huge. It's unbelievable. They were building this huge. But it was started with one brick. One brick. That we call resilience, isn't it? Yeah. So adaptability. But what is it? So next slide. What is it really? We talked about IQ. That was IQ in the 50s, 60s. If you have a good IQ. Then we learned 20 years ago emotional intelligence. And we know that if you had two engineers with roughly an IQ of 115, one person will succeed fantastically in a company and the next one will stick with the same job. What is the difference? Emotional intelligence. Building relationships, see through other people's eyes, understand people from a different point of view. Many other things, of course. But those two are very, very important. I coach people with maybe an IQ of 180. Yeah, that's a lot. And they say, I'm good, I'm the best in the group, so I can't understand why they don't promote me. So sometimes, I'm not going to take the whole coaching session here now, but I know my clients, so to one guy I was very tough, so I said, do you know what? You're going to be promoted when you are the guy they like to work with, but at the moment they don't. You're an asshole. So if you think you're so good, I actually said the F word to him because he could take that. So I said, if you think you're so good, do you know what? Why don't you just help them? So they can become half as good as you are.
Right.
Start help them. And maybe you should start to help your manager as well, because one finger at the manager is 3 fingers back.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bought the book, Emotional Intelligence with Daniel Goleman. He's today a team manager, very successful. And he said, yeah, I learned a lot. And I said, are you using your IQ? I don't know, I use EQ. And now he's training his AQ. Yeah. So the good thing is, if you have an awareness, if you want to, you can train your emotional intelligence your whole life. You know that. And it's okay to drop, because we do sometimes. We're humans. So I can behave like one as well. Sometimes. So what the next is that AQ. So now we have IQ, EQ, and now AQ. And you will be one of, press again, I think that comes. No, just, yeah, boom, in. So this is a new assessment, and I was so excited when I learned about it because I have been looking for this for years. You go in, I know you do, you sell your coaching, and you try to tell the executive, oh, I'm going to reform your company, it's going to be so great. And then you start to coach the leaders, and you coach the leader feel better. But then after a while, I thought, what's really the impact? The leader has changed, he feels great, but have I reformed the company? It feels like I'm changing something here, but it doesn't, the holistic perspective is not there. Anyone else that felt that? Yeah, I felt it. So I'm looking for something here. Here we have it. Next slide. And it has to do with this one. Because companies today, they say, we're going to recruit the top talents to our company. And I say, how many top talents are out there? Yeah? How many top talents are out there? Instead, those companies that train the ordinary people to top talents. That's the one that's going to succeed. So next slide. So adaptability is the key in the future because it is a must in innovation. So those companies that can change the mindset, train the people, they will take the ordinary people to top talents. That's the one that's going to win, not the one that just paying more and more and more to get the top talents. Does it make sense? Yes. Next slide. We can remove this one. You can have it. We heard it before. Here you have it, adaptability. I don't have time here to go through all of it, but there are many things in adaptability. It's your ability, character, but the environment impacts your ability to adapt a lot. That means you can have a very adaptable person in one environment, and then you shift them. You can change the team or something, and suddenly that person is not adaptable any longer. It's very common. They have a very productive person, change the group, not productive, fire the person. Just wrong move of the manager. What I like to highlight here, grit, mental flexibility, the amount of perspectives that you can take in is part of adaptability. Resilient, but unlearn. The ability to just say, okay, I learned to use this iPhone here. Yeah, that was yesterday. Now it's something else. And I just say, okay, skip it. I go back. That's unlearning. Just think completely differently. Of course, people who are a bit more extroverted has an advantage because they, trying to meet people or get energy. But look at the other one, hope. People and organizations with no hope are not adaptable. Think about it. When you read the, Facebook of the world and managers, or the highest president doesn't succeed to get hope into the organization. It's leadership. It's leadership. So I have done some measurement, and the president, he was shocked. I said, the hope is less than 50% in your group. They're sitting protecting themselves because they think they're going to get fired and laid off. How adaptable is your team? Not very much. So what we need, next slide. I'm coming here soon to the end. Coaching leadership style. We need to train the leaders to be more resilient. We heard it here. No stress. Trying to have some sort of way of training the stress level. So coaching leadership style is facilitating, not being an expert. Stepping out of being an expert. And lead. And be interested in people, figuring out things, facilitate. Next slide. You can jump it because it is flying and stuff here. This one, different viewpoint. Many managers are so stressed so they can't pick up different viewpoints. They're too stressed. It's not the innovation then. Next slide. Managing stress, we heard it before. Because if you are on this wrong stress level, you're not innovating. You have two systems, you know that. One is completely negative, you have a positive stress level. They need to train resilience and stress. Next slide, coming to the end. Why? Because if you're going to have an innovative company, mindset and adaptability is the clue. And it's all about the people you are training in the team. And if they don't feel psychological safety, hope, not willing to learn, take any risks to actually lose their jobs, there will be no innovation. And now I have the final slide. So this is what I wrote. In today's fast-changing world, being able to adapt is like having a superpower. And that as a manager, having that superpower, being that resilient, accepting, I don't know everything, but I have a fantastic team and they compensate for my weaknesses. Yeah, that's what it's about. They compensate for my weaknesses. When I understand that, then I can lead with confidence because I can say I'm not perfect. But together with you guys, I'm perfect. Yeah, to that end. Thank you.